Obviously, you guys gave Shane Thomas the scholarship, but even back to fall camp last year, you kind of said that he was a guy that you think is going to help you eventually. Like, what did you see then that kind of led to a moment like he just had?
I mean, he really improved from last year to this year. His body got better. Defensively, I've always been impressed with him. But he continued to grow on the offensive end as well. His understanding of what we're doing from a systematic standpoint is really good. He's a great teammate. He's about all the right things. So I saw it coming, and obviously we've had confidence to throw him into some games at some pretty big times.
How crucial has that development been with how your guys' backcourt has kind of shaped out this season?
Yeah. I mean, thank goodness he came back ready with what has transpired from an injury standpoint. So defensively, he gives us someone we can go to that can guard. He can guard a bigger guy. He can guard quickness, and he understands the scouting report. He follows it pretty well. So it's he's been a godsend to him.
What's it like coaching guys like that where you saw how emotional that was when it happened? Like, it means something to him to be a part of this. Like, what's it like coaching guys like that?
Yeah. I mean, it's rewarding. Shane is, his dad coached Division I basketball for a long time, and he's worked really hard. He got an opportunity to give this Division I thing a shot at this level, and then to do all the things right. To put yourself in a position where you earn a scholarship is a credit to him and his work ethic, and how he's approached things on a daily basis. So it was fun. It was neat to see the emotion of his family. Just celebrating the fact that all of Shane's hard work paid off.
How did you orchestrate that? He said that he was pretty surprised. His sisters said it was a gift from his grandma. So how did that work out?
Yeah, John McHugh came up with the idea, and we presented it to his parents. I don't think they knew exactly what was in there, but I think they had a decent idea it was something of that sort. But they did wrap it up as a gift from his grandmother, so that was pretty creative. But I'm glad they caught it on video. You could just you could see the raw emotion and the joy, not just from Shane, but his parents and his sisters.
Mac, when we talked to you after the Nova game, you kind of had that laundry list of things you wanted to get done through these 10 days. What have you guys gotten done since you've been back on campus, or what do you want to get done before the St. John's game?
Yeah, we had a couple practices after. One good practice the day after the Nova game, and then we did workouts the next morning. And everybody was back here yesterday, or 2 days ago, ready to go on the 27th, and we had a good practice late in that afternoon and a good one yesterday. So I think some of the bumps and bruises are gradually healing up, which is nice. So we've been able to have more of those guys on the practice floor more consistently, which obviously we need. So we're playing a really good team. So it's going to take a great effort on our part on Tuesday afternoon.
With the Fedor acclimation process, obviously you felt like this could be a week where there's been could be a marginal jump towards that. What do you guys see from it?
Yeah, it's going to be a process. That's just the reality of it. He's missed so much, and we're trying to fast track it. So we're actually bouncing Mason and Jason over to the scout team back and forth a little bit, even though they need reps with the top team, just so we can get Fedor some reps, just so we can get a look at is he grasping what we're asking him to do on both ends of the floor? Is he fitting in with the guys he's playing with? And it's going to take some time. It's going to be a process, but I don't think there's any question that before the season's over, I think he's going to be able to help us.
When you watch St. John's, I mean, last year their A game was pretty good. What have they done, this year in the offseason that you think has raised their floor a little bit to where they're more consistent?
Yeah, I mean, you could argue, Davon Smith and Kadari in the guard court maybe is as big of a portal land as anybody in the country in terms of two guards. And then RJ's improved. Wilchers was playing great at the end of last season. He's kind of carried that over. And then their inside guys are really giving them some good looks with their physicality and their ability to run the floor. So, this is a team that, they probably should have beat Baylor, lost in double overtime, and then lost a really close game to Georgia. They're 2 baskets away from being undefeated and ranked in the top 5 in the country. That's how good they are. And, last night they played 11 guys against Delaware. They're just running guys in and out. And, much like Alabama did. has. They have great depth. They've been able to recruit a really good roster.
They rebound almost 40% of their misses, and Ejiofor is a big part of that. Almost 5 himself. How do you kind of manage, obviously needing Kalkbrenner to help, but also needing to make sure you get a body on him?
Yeah, I mean the first thing is we have to get him to miss, and then then your work starts, because to your point, Villanova rebounded about 40% of their misses. We did a decent job with them. It's just the difference with St. John's is they'll send more guys, like Smith from the point guard position will go in and rebound. So a lot of times your point guard, your off guard, they can kind of help on somebody else boxing out. This is a game where they have to be responsible for their own guy and understand that he's coming and trying to make some plays. So it's going to be a big part of the game. Our first shot defense is certainly going to be critical. But then our ability to, if we do give up an offensive rebound, let's put our defense back together and make sure it doesn't cost us.
What are you hoping to see from your team from physicality and a toughness standpoint from how this game could play out?
Just carry it over from Villanova. Obviously Villanova plays a certain way. It's that was a grinded out possession by possession game, so every possession mattered. And defensively, I thought there was a high level of shot making on their part. Unfortunately, we got a high level of shot making on our part. So just the Big East is really good. There's no nights off, and certainly Tuesday afternoon is going to be a challenging.
Back with where the league stands metrically right now, I know Selection Sunday is a really long way away, but do you kind of impress on them a sense of urgency to get a win over one of the top teams in the league?
I mean, I impress on them to get a win on whoever the next team is. But right now I'm worried about practice here in about 30 minutes. So, we can stack some good days together in practice, and that's going to carry over as the season moves forward. But the guys understand. St. John's is a really good team. They have some great wins, and it's a huge opportunity for us.
I know the ramifications of what February games feel like isn't in view yet, but 4 of your next 5 on the road. Is this one more pivotal because of just the nature of how challenging your upcoming slate's going?
Yeah, I mean you play them when you play them. You don't really get any control over that. And your concern is always just the next one. And obviously playing on the road in the Big East is hard, like it is in every league. It's hard to win on the road, which makes it so important to protect your home floor. And that's why coming off a poor performance against Georgetown, where that Villanova game was so critical to us. And we've got to try to build on that, as we move towards Tuesday, and then we'll deal with that long road stretch when it gets in.
Big picture question, kind of sparked by the Shane situation. I know it's a long way off, but how have you kind of, with the roster changes and going to the 15 locked in, you guys have always done a good job of utilizing your scout team and bringing some walk-ons in. How do you view kind of your plan changing moving forward with the roster changes?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't thought about it too in depth yet, but it's unfortunate that guys that are currently walk-ons aren't grandfathered into that. But I'm not going to leave a guy that's committed to our program and paid his own way for a few years. I'm not leaving him hanging. So if I have to hold a spot, I'm going to hold a spot. Loyalty has to be a two-way street, not a one-way street.
Next, St. John's was pretty willing, especially in that second meeting last year, to take those mid-range shots that you guys give up. How do you combat that in the drop coverage?
Yeah, I mean, they had some guys that were elite at it last year, and their guards are obviously great again this season and can get to those spots. So we have to mix up the looks and give them some different looks so that they don't feel comfortable. And that's what these next couple days of practice are all about.
Favorite memory of 2024?
Whew. Boy. Cubs didn't win the World Series, so that's not it.
Didn't come close, did they?
No. That was probably the Kansas game. That was just that was a fun part of it. And then the NCAA tournament run in March, with that group of guys back to another Sweet 16. That was a pretty special time and a special group of guys.
Matt, you said you guys are pretty good health-wise. How's Steven's ankle doing?
Yeah, he's a little banged up. He kind of gets put through the ringer every time he steps on the floor with some physicality. And, he got a hip pointer late in that game against Villanova that he's still fighting with a little bit. It's bothering him, but he shows up and he comes out here and plays his tail off every day. He'll be ready. Thank you.
Thanks.
Man, that was probably the best Christmas I ever had, It was an unexpected gift, but it was the best gift of all.
Why do you think it hit you like that?
I don't usually cry a lot, but that was such an emotional time for me and my family. They know I've been through tough times and up and downs that I've been through. It's been tough for me and my family, but just to see that all the hard work paid off, it was just a blessing.
Do you feel like, a lot of what you're going to remember about your Creighton career is probably the on-the-court stuff, you know what I mean?
Right.
Do you, just because of how that went down and how emotional that was and sharing with your family in person, do you feel like that's going to be hard to top no matter what happens the rest of the year?
Yeah, that'll have to be number one. Even the on-court stuff, whether I hit a buzzer beater or not, that would still be number one, just opening that gift.
What was the first conversation you had with the coaches after you learned the news?
I went straight to my phone, texted Coach Mag, thanked him for everything, thanked him for believing in me, because it was just a great present.
What was the reaction like from your teammates when they found out?
They were all thanking me in the group chat. They said, well deserved, all that. They were really happy for me.
Did you expect that at all?
No, not at all.
What's it mean for you to now be on scholarship?
I didn't expect it at all. My sisters planned it up perfectly. They said it was from my grandma, so they wanted to record it. And then once I opened it, I was surprised that it wasn't from my grandma. And just to be on scholarship makes me want to work harder. Makes me feel like my coaches believe in me and my teammates believe in me. So yeah.
Did you? I don't know if confusion's the right word, but did you not believe it at first when you were reading it? You're like, I think they're just giving me a scholarship.
Yeah,
the reaction was a little bit.
I was confused. I was looking for the word scholarship. I didn't really see it, and then my mom finally was like, "You're on scholarship," and I was like, "Wow!" And just had a crazy reaction.
What can you say about your body of work that gave you that opportunity to now be on scholarship? What did it say?
I'd say just building up my confidence, honestly, from last year to this year. I put in a lot of work and just built my confidence up, and it showed on the court.
Have you tried to take advantage of those opportunities that you have gotten getting on there this year?
I have a short leash. I know my role, so I try to go out there and make an impact in the game whenever I can.
What did you see from St. John's? Obviously, they got a talented backcourt.
They're a tough, gritty team, so, we're going to take care of the ball, not turn the ball over. It'll be a tough, gritty win, but we'll have to get it done.
Anything else for Shane?
In the day of the transfer portal and just sticking with the team like you did and it finally paying off, what kind of testament is that to people who are just trying to stick it through with a team when there are potentially better options?
There's going to be up and downs, but no matter what, you got to stick with your team, It's like a family here. It's a culture, so I knew I wanted to stay here and keep grinding it out.